Already seeing reaction to this latest Minneapolis shooting involving federal agents, mostly split along party lines, as the president defends the officers involved, while prominent Democrats are calling this an execution. NewsNation correspondent Libby Dean live at the White House with the political reaction. What are you monitoring tonight, Libby?
Natasha, good evening. So the Trump administration is really standing behind those federal agents and claiming that this was an act of domestic terrorism. Quick to claim that by Alex Pretti, and who, of course, DHS does claim brandished a weapon, leading to those officers acting in self-defense, according to DHS, and then fatally shooting Pretti. Now, the Homeland Security Secretary saying DHS is leading that investigation. Here's her.
This individual went and impeded their law enforcement operations, attacked those officers, had a weapon on him, and dozens of rounds of ammunition, wishing to inflict harm on these officers, coming brandishing like that and impeding their work that they were doing.
White House officials that I spoke with throughout the day today told me that the president, he spent several hours in the Oval Office today, and he was actively monitoring what was unfolding in Minneapolis, things like what you're seeing on your screen. He was also briefed on that shooting that took place. And while the president hasn't gotten into specifically these details that we more heard from Secretary Noem of that shooting, in this series of posts that he made earlier this afternoon, he did claim that broadly this unrest that we're seeing in Minneapolis, he claimed that it was a cover-up for those fraud allegations in Minnesota that the federal government is now investigating. And the president also going after local officials in Minnesota rather, stating that the mayor and the governor are inciting insurrection with their pompous, dangerous, and arrogant rhetoric. That's what the president stated, and those officials responding tonight.
Despite the horrific acts by this federal government, Minnesotans are standing up for the rule of law. They're protesting loudly and urgently, but peacefully. It must stay that way, Minnesota.
And Representative Ilhan Omar, who represents the district actually where the shooting took place earlier today, saying she's horrified at what happened. Now, as for President Trump and where he stands here on invoking the Insurrection Act, he has threatened time and time again to do that, Natasha. But tonight, it is unclear if this incident in Minneapolis this morning is what could lead to the president ultimately making that decision, Natasha.
I appreciate, and I know you'll be closely tracking that. Libby, meanwhile, what impact is the shooting having on the impending vote to keep our government open?
Yeah, Natasha, I mean, this was on the table long before this shooting, but things really escalating even into tonight. And now some Democratic senators saying they will vote to partially shut down the government vote against ultimately that funding package that includes money for DHS. And that is why they plan to ultimately vote against it. So far, nearly half of the Democratic caucus has said that they won't vote for that spending bill. You're seeing some of those names on your screen right now who have already come out against it. And it does need, of course, 60 votes in the Senate to pass. So at least 10 Democratic senators, they would need to vote in support of it. But late tonight, we actually heard from the Democratic leader, Chuck Schumer. He released a statement making it very clear here Senate Democrats will not provide the votes to keep the government open should DHS funding remain in that current legislation, in that spending bill. Meanwhile, this government shutdown is back on, meaning that government shutdown, of course, is back on the table here, that partial government shutdown at least. But Senate Democrats, Natasha, have been hesitant to vote for more DHS and ICE funding throughout the government funding process that has been playing out over the last month. And the shooting today, of course, is going to make passing legislation that much more difficult, given these senators are not in session on Monday, actually, because of the snowstorm that is coming across the nation. And this, of course, would need to pass by Friday to avoid a government shutdown. But those senators, they won't be here on Monday, Natasha.
Libby Dean tracking that live at the White House tonight. Thank you.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.